Welcome to the month of June, 30 days all about gin, shining a spotlight on craft-made Canadian. Fun facts and proper tastings, live cocktails Friday afternoons. Discover 14 different brands and be influenced by me. Song for a roll. That's right, I'm a song for a roll.
So hello everyone and welcome to this 22nd day of June, my 30-day salute to gin during the month of June. Now for those of you who've been following along so far, you know that I've been showcasing made in Canada gins this year, and that I've also been talking about the creativity, innovation, and game-changing rule-breaking tactics being used by our Canadian craft distillers as they produce local gin that is garnering global attention. Now, pushing boundaries and essentially doing things the way they want them to be rather than what traditionally they should be is where, in my opinion, our craft gin distillers here in the Great White North shine. Now, before we begin, as always, I do need to ask anyone watching who is not yet of legal age to purchase and or consume alcohol where they live to now say goodbye. Okay, so today's gin is yet another example of forgetting the so-called rules and instead focusing on taste while at the same time respecting and contributing to Mother Nature. A naturally winning combination. ABEL, a contemporary style gin, was founded by Jean-Philippe Paradis and Valerie Bissonnette in Quebec and started as a passion project to produce a top-notch product that is also helping to enact positive change and difference in nature. The French word abeille means bee, and that's where the name ABEL draws inspiration. Using a simple recipe of 6 ingredients, juniper distillate, raw honey, orange peel, coriander, pink grapefruit, and propolis, bees glue, Jean-Philippe and Valerie have created a gin unlike any other gin that I really know of. Oh, never heard of propolis? Well, it's certainly an innovative ingredient for a gin. It's actually a substance that humans have been using for eons in a medicinal and healing form. You see, it's produced by honeybees and contains plant sap, beeswax, and a few other natural enzymes. It's all natural and is thought to assist in naturally boosting immune systems. Now you know. Okay, but back to ABEL. I mentioned its recipe is small, but to call the gin itself simple would be a mistake. As would to label this a liqueur. Now there may indeed only be a few components, but they're all well integrated and well extracted. And as for liqueur, well, some may want to call it that because it has ingredients added to a gin distillate base. You know, much like a sloe gin. But like a sloe gin is still indeed gin, so is ABEL, which is why I love the moniker contemporary gin. So let's dive into the glass and see what's going on, shall we? I'm going to calibrate our olfactory senses, right? 1, 2, 3, and now we're ready for a big sniff. So right away, it's very inviting. It's soft and it's floral. I mean, there is indeed some pine from the juniper, but it's secondary and it's in the background. Bright citrus keeps things light. Orange, pink grapefruit, and a bit of lemon, those are all coming through. There is a resiny note as well, however, it's not piney, and I believe it likely comes from that bees glue I was talking about earlier rather than from juniper. The raw honey that's in here also brings about a fresh honey scent, but also some earthy notes. And almost surprisingly, this does not smell sweet. Instead, it's almost melon-like. Really lovely on the nose. Time to taste. We're going to move it around our mouth to coat those 5 flavor receptors. So on the palate, so there is a little bit of weight on the tongue, which likely has to do with the natural sugar in the honey, but also likely from the corn that's also been used as the alcohol base for the gin. But again, right away, this is not very sweet. I mean, there's a little bit of sweetness, but it's very mild and it's very natural. I'm getting a little resin, definitely a floral type of honey. It's a little earthy again, and citrus pith, and just a little bit of a woodsy spice are coming through. Interestingly enough, it seems to fluctuate back and forth on my palate. Sometimes I'm getting a bit more honey, sometimes a bit more floral. All very different, very intriguing, and honestly, very tasty. Overall, this has to be one of the more unique approaches to gin that I've tasted. I know it's a gin because I can taste the juniper, but it's also a very different gin. Aha, indeed a contemporary Quebec gin. It's fresh, a touch sweet, bright, and floral, all the while enticing you to have another sip and another taste. Easy to see how and why it has won multiple awards and medals at the Canadian Artisan Spirits Competition. So, have I piqued your interest? Wondering how you can begin to elevate some of your homemade cocktails? Si vous démarrez au Québec, bravo! Et sinon, désolé. In English, unless you live in Quebec, you're out of luck. It is available only at the SAQ, stock number 14682874, and ringing in at a very reasonable $45 for a 750 milliliter bottle. This is a unique and artisanal contemporary Quebecois gin, well priced. Oh, and folks, don't forget about how the good people at ABEL are helping Mother Nature. You see, part of the profits from each bottle goes back to aiding the survival of the bees. And then there's their whole support local approach. JP and Valerie believe it is crucial for them to do business with local producers for their ingredients. You see, they insist on local as much as possible in order to ensure quality. But they also believe that they need to support local themselves by being a part of a circular economy with the entrepreneurs all around them. Great stuff all around. Alrighty. So folks, that is indeed a wrap today on yet another great example of what our local Canadian craft distillers are coming up with. Don't forget to help me help them further by sharing my posts and by using the hashtag #SipWithSomForAll. Together we can spread the good word on Made in Canada gin, help our local distillers get the love and support that they need, and also help our fellow Canucks from coast to coast to coast put a little quality craft distilled spirit in their glass. Until next time, everyone, stay safe, be well, and cheers from Som for All.